All right, everybody, welcome back to the Street Parking Podcast. As of this recording, it is January 8th, so we are just a week into 2024, and I'm super pumped for this episode as I am going to take this opportunity in the new year to talk about what our goals and our vision and our mission within street parking here at the office is going to be for all of you for this year, for 2024. Now, on January 1st, we officially are in our 8th year of delivering programming to all of you. So the Instagram page, the social media pages were launched, I think, in November of 2016, but the official first day where the programming was on Wodify at the time was on January 1st of 2017. So we are in our 8th year. And before I get into what our goals are, what our rallying cry is for 2024, what we're going to be encouraging for all of you, the message that you're going to hear over and over again from us this year, and some things to look forward to, I kind of wanted to go and walk down memory lane a little bit. If you're a new member of Street Parking, or if you haven't been with us the whole time, there is an origin story to many of the hashtags and phrases and things like that that you may have seen around our community. And before we get into the new ones, let's talk about kind of where we have been. So street parking originally was created to provide programming to those who don't have access to, can't afford, are too busy for, or just simply don't enjoy a regular gym. So Julian and I both come from a CrossFit background. We used to compete in CrossFit. I have worked in CrossFit gyms, so has he. I worked for CrossFit for 8 years, and we believed that we could deliver simple, effective training for those who don't have access to or don't enjoy or can't afford a gym. And so it was really a hobby at first. We were like, hey, let's throw an Instagram page out there. Let's link with Wodify. And maybe we could find 100 people, a couple hundred people who are like us, who are busy and just want to get their workout in and get out of there. So that's where the initial idea came from. And I had a belief, and I wanted to share that belief because I had traveled. Like I said, I worked for CrossFit for 8 years and traveled almost every weekend during that period of time while simultaneously trying to become one of the fittest people on earth. And those travel and trying to train to be a professional athlete don't really go that well together. But what I had learned is that consistency and intensity and pushing myself in whatever I could find to do for my fitness in some of these really not ideal circumstances was really effective. And what I saw out there in the world is that most people don't believe that. Most people, they believe that you need to be at a specific gym with a personal trainer or, a group training situation with specific equipment and a specific program for at least an hour and all this stuff. And I knew that I had been able to maintain and gain a high level of fitness with a lot of my training being in not ideal circumstances. I learned that a hotel stairwell, my hotel room at the foot of my bed, or a hotel gym with a set of dumbbells was very effective if I was consistent and if I pushed myself. And I wanted to deliver that in a program for people who might also find themselves in a situation like that. Now, about a week after we launched the social media pages, I found out that I was pregnant. Surprise, this was not a planned pregnancy. And so very quickly, things started to change for me as I had trained for hours a day even when I was home and I was trying to become this athlete and everything. Now we're running this business. I had another job. Julian had another business that he was running, and I was pregnant. And what we found ourselves in the second year and early in the third year of street parking was what I like to call real people problems. Like long gone were the days of me training for hours a day and having access to amazing training partners and time to do all this cool fun stuff. And we were literally now our own clientele. We were doing our workouts at late at night sometimes. We were having to bring the dumbbells in the house. We were sleep deprived and all of this stuff. And so around that time is where More Than Nothing became just a beacon of hope for me as a new mom, and for so many of you. It was like the lighthouse in the ocean, and it was a fail-safe for consistency. During that time, I learned that more than nothing is enough. When we started using that hashtag, I was learning along with all of you that consistency really does deliver so much of what the fitness industry and what people are looking for. We asked you, do you really believe that doing some air squats and burpees at the end of your bed on days where you would otherwise do nothing because you can't get in your perfect program, do you really believe that that's not going to deliver more results than doing nothing? We asked you guys, do you believe that you need a specific place and a specific set of gear? And what if you just did something? This further solidified our belief and our message that consistency is the most important thing. And so More Than Nothing became a huge staple and still is a huge staple in our community that we use all the time. Now in 2020, early 2020, the world shut down. And gym goers and gym members all around the globe panicked. And you couldn't buy a pair of dumbbells. First of all, you couldn't find a pair of dumbbells to buy. And if you wanted some gym equipment, you were going to have to mortgage your house to get it. People were panicking. They were scrambling. Everyone didn't know how they were going to maintain their fitness. But street parking members, especially members who had been around for a while, when it came to their fitness, the entire rest of the world might have been in chaos. Nothing had to change for us. For us, when it came to fitness, it was business as usual. During this time, we reached out to the people who do have beloved gym communities that they adore, and they were sad that they were missing. And we said, hey, let us help you during this time. Let us help you. Let us provide some simple, effective workouts for you. If you've got a sandbag, if you've got a pair of dumbbells, hey, let us put out some programs where you don't need anything at all. And for as long as the world is shut down, we will be here for you until you're ready to go back to your gyms. So it was during this time that the hashtag that you might have seen, or the t-shirt, I think there's a t-shirt out there. Anyway, it was during this time that Control Your Fitness was born. Control Your Fitness is about not ever feeling like you need to rely on a specific place, a specific program, a specific set of equipment, a specific amount of time, a specific time of day. Nothing can take away your ability to get your workouts in and take care of your body. Control your fitness. Be your own advocate for yourself, and know that as long as I've got a little bit of space, that's enough space for me to lay down on the ground and get back up, I will always be in control, and nobody can take that from me. I'm in control of my fitness. I'm in control of my health. You can take my gym, but you could never take my fitness, was kind of like the rallying cry. And speaking of Braveheart, in 2022, we started talking about freedom. Fitness Freedom was not just an event at Dave Castro's ranch that became very popular and was iconic because of where it was, for those of you that come from a CrossFit background. Fitness Freedom was the message that you get to choose what your fitness looks like. We wanted to make it clear to the world that we believe there is no one right way to exercise. There is no one right way to get fit. There is no one right way to stay fit. We encourage our members to take the program options that we have, equipment options that we have, the extra program options that we have, and make it work for who you are. We were tired of seeing regular people, moms and dads, busy college students, people trying to further their career or get through a hard season in life, feeling like they were failing because they couldn't do a specific program exactly the way that it was written. Some of the stuff that we didn't like that is common in the CrossFit space and in the CrossFit culture is if you're not doing it as RX, it doesn't count. If you're changing the equipment, it's not the same. If you're using a sandbag instead of a barbell, it's an easier workout. We were tired of hearing this idea of, we would see members that would post like, well, I did it, but I only used the 20s and not the 25s, apologizing for their effort. Well, I didn't do yesterday's workout, or I did Tuesday's workout on Thursday, so I messed it all up. Fitness Freedom was inviting our members to embrace the real peaks and valleys of your life, which will translate to what you're able to do, what you want to do, and what you're into when it comes to your fitness. We want you to follow your interests. We want you to have fun. Use your sandbag only for an entire summer if you want to. Be the weird neighbor that buys a sled, and even if you're 50, 60 years old, you're out there pushing a sled around the neighborhood. Be that person if you want to be that person, and own it and be excited about it. And then when it snows, take your kettlebells inside and don't ever leave your house when it comes to doing your workout. Make it work for your circumstances. Be interested in endurance for a while, then lifting for a while. Find consistency and have fun. In 2023, so last year, it was all about street parking in the wild. And when it comes to street parking in the wild, it was kind of twofold. There were two messages with this one. First, it was to use your fitness. We're not spending all this time, and even if all this time is only 30 minutes a day, we're not putting all this effort and energy into being fit and healthy just to be fit and healthy at home, in our own homes, in our gyms. It's not about our workout scores. It's not about, we took away the leaderboard before 2023 when we got the new app, right? It's about using my fitness to improve my quality of life. So in 2023, the first message of Street Parking in the Wild was get out and use it. Go do a Savage race. Go do a Spartan race. Go on that hike. Go on that whitewater rafting trip. Hike the Appalachian Trail. Learn how to surf. Go play basketball with your kids or your buddies. Jump into that flag football game on Thanksgiving. Use your fitness for your real life and enjoy the fruits of the labor. Enjoy the fruits of all the hard work that you've been putting in at your house. The second message for Street Parking in the Wild was to get out and meet other street parking members. Now, I know for a lot of us in 2020 when we were isolated at home, and depending on where you live, we're in the Pacific Northwest, so things were closed down here a lot longer than other places. And so people started kind of getting used to being isolated. Maybe some people were even more comfortable kind of staying away from people. You know, street parking in general is members working out alone at home. And so in 2023, we're like, all right, that's it. You guys need to connect and meet with each other, because we know if you make an in-person connection, how much stronger your connection to the entire group will be. So we encouraged our members host local meetups. We ourselves, we decked out a Sprinter van and we sent Caitlin on the road, and she hit almost every US state during the summer last year. I think from April to October, she hit almost every state, stopping by at members' homes. We had many big meetups. We did Fitness Freedom again. We were in North Carolina. We were in Florida. We were in Texas and all over the place, Hawaii. And it was about getting out and meeting other members, making those in-person connections. Now, and with that, that was all about a reminder that once you meet that one other person, you're like, this person gets me. This person does street parking at home too. This person hates lunchters, and this person loves devil presses just like me. And now when I'm doing my workout, I'm thinking of Nancy from Columbus, and I know she's probably doing the same workout as me. It was about creating a feeling of just because you work out by yourself, you should never feel alone. Get out and meet other members. So many of you guys know that about halfway through 2023, for the past 6 months, our family, the Alcaraz family, myself and Julian and our children, have been going through some personal struggles. If you somehow missed that, that's okay. It's not that we've shared a lot about it, but the members picked up on it. I've shared a little bit about it on my personal social media or in the newsletter that I put out. And, for the past 7 years, our family has poured. You guys, we have poured our heart and soul and sweat and blood and tears into street parking. And we had to take a little bit of a pause to recalibrate our own lives and our own family, because as we've been building all this cool stuff that I'm talking about, we also had 3 children, and we were newly married when this all started. So the second half of 2023, Julian and I did some intense soul searching, and we wanted to share, before I go on, just how much we felt the love and support, and we appreciate you guys so much for us during that time. But as with any storm, there's a little sun peeking through, and this opportunity in our family had us sit down and talk about what are our core values as a family. And the truth is that we can't separate street parking, the business, from our family, because we've always seen street parking as our first child. We did some cool business seminars and things like that to grow as leaders for all of you so we can do a better job for you. And a very important message that we learned is that our business should reflect our personal core values. So Julian and I got to sit down and talk about what those are for our family, and that bled over into what are the core values for street parking. And we spent some time actually developing some very specific core values that we are going to put out to you guys over the next few weeks and months, so that you can see what all of those are. And ideally, you guys can rally around those and say, I feel that way too. I agree with this message too. This is me. I am a street parker. This all makes sense. It's who I am as well. So we've chosen 2 of those for our rallying cry, for our mission and our message for 2024. 2 of the core values we're going to really hit home on for this next year. And I wanted to share those with you guys today to fire you up and to get ready to hear more and more of this as the year goes on, and see more tools for this when it comes to your fitness, your nutrition, cool badges, cool challenges, meetups, all of that stuff. We're going to tie to these 2 things. The first one, actually, let me tell you what both of them are, and then we'll go through each one. The first one is growth. And the second one you've already heard before, because we branded our booth at the Rogue Invitational with simple, not easy. Those are going to be the 2 messages that we're going to hammer home for 2024. And as with all of the various stages and messaging of street parking, we follow what we feel the community and fitness world at large needs to hear. More than nothing came from listening to you, watching you, paying attention to what your questions were. Control Your Fitness came as a response to what was going on in the world in 2020. Fitness Freedom came as a response to seeing people struggling to feel like they were failing all the time and not having fun with their fitness. And now Simple, Not Easy is a reminder of who we are, what we started out as, and what our belief is in what the world needs to be reminded about. So I'm going to read the actual write-up for each one and dive into it a little bit. But growth, basically, growth, if you're not growing, you're dying. There really is no standing still in life. At street parking, we believe in asking ourselves, who am I right now? And who am I becoming? Because we're always becoming something. There is no such thing as standing still, and we strive to always move in the direction of personal growth. We are willing, as street parkers, right? So that's you, that's me. If you're listening, you're a street parking member. We as street parkers are willing to be honest with ourselves about which habits, beliefs, fears, and comforts are holding us back from our potential. We know that none of us will ever ultimately reach the summit, but we are determined to come as close as possible to realizing our full potential as human beings. Our mission as street parking is to give you the tools to grow. through health and fitness, but also as a person. So yes, on the surface, when you are using our tools and interacting with the product of street parking, it looks like workouts, coaching tips, nutrition. It's an encouragement to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. It's getting outside more often. It's saying, hey, probably try eating more fruits and veggies. On the surface, that's what it looks like. But truly, we hope that these changes are just the tip of the iceberg for each of you to grow in as many areas as possible. Maybe overcoming your hatred of the assault bike and fighting tooth and nail to not get on that thing, but doing it anyway for a couple weeks or months. Maybe overcoming that and saying, hey, this isn't so bad. I don't hate it as much as I used to. You start to ask yourself, where else could I apply this in my life? Maybe I hate going outside when it's cold, but if I can overcome the assault bike, I certainly can overcome some Pacific Northwest rain. What else am I avoiding? We hope that encouraging you to work toward better sleep might push you to ask yourself, what other simple habits could make me healthier, happier, and a more effective and efficient human being in the other areas of my life? It might be that your personal growth is showing up to a meetup by yourself, not knowing anyone, and in that moment realizing that meeting strangers isn't as bad as you thought it was going to be. And so now you start getting out in other ways and looking for other ways to connect with people who are like-minded and who share the same values and goals in life that you do. The sky is really the limit for this. Fitness, nutrition are going to be our tools to help you get a little more uncomfortable each day. But the goal is clear. 2024 is the year of using our fitness to grow in more ways than lifting PRs and losing weight. We want to encourage you all to use fitness as a catalyst to gain self-confidence, develop consistency and habits that drive you to improve in other areas of your life. We've all had times when we are feeling better in our fitness and we're achieving some goals and maybe we like improve our score on a vault workout, the confidence boost starts to bleed into other areas. I can't tell you how many times a physical task that is not fitness related has come up and I'm confident that I can do it because of my fitness in the gym. I can carry my toddler for longer. I can chase them for longer. I can play with them because I've built that confidence. It does help us to grow. We want you to improve your life in as many areas as possible, which will of course only serve to inspire everyone around you, to lift up your own families and your own communities that you have an influence over. And the first challenge for growth takes us to seek discomfort daily, which is our tagline for Simple Not Easy. Seek discomfort daily. Our second core value for 2024 is that. Simple, not easy. At street parking, we know that often the most impactful things we can do in our lives are incredibly simple. Life is incredibly simple. However, success can come from simplicity, but it's often repetitive. It can often be maybe boring sometimes. Simple, but it's not easy. We believe in giving our best effort to the basics. We know that complicated can often be a cop-out, often a way to avoid discomfort and provide a way out. We don't want a way out as street parking members. We want to go further in, keeping it simple. Street parking provides tools for anyone, but not everyone is ready to embrace the reality that results and consistency require you to get your hands dirty. We know, as street parking members, that a pair of dumbbells is a gateway to devastation. We know that packing fruit on the airplane does take an extra step. And we know that accountability is uncomfortable and consistency is rare. We know that the path to lifelong fitness and health are incredibly simple. We have within our own community thousands of members who have shown us that a pair of dumbbells and working out at home while focusing on eating real food with consistency works. Over and over and over again, we've seen it. So the question is, if it works and it's simple and all you need is a little space in your house and a couple handfuls of veggies, then why isn't the entire world fit and healthy? Because it's hard. And people don't want to do hard. Hard doesn't sell. Hard's not popular. Hard's not sexy. Simple also isn't sexy. Where more than nothing was a fail-safe for street parking, saying, hey, if the option is nothing or half-ass burpees and air squats, do the half-ass burpees and air squats to maintain your habits and maintain your consistency. More than nothing is never designed to be the program. The default is keeping it simple, but pushing yourself, not easy. The default is how can I get slightly, at least slightly uncomfortable in my workout today? How can I do a little bit better in my nutrition today? We recognized with More Than Nothing actually that too many of our very own members were maybe using the idea of More Than Nothing a little bit too much. It's why I sat down one day and said we need to bring it back to not easy. We need to remind members to push. We need to see people being uncomfortable. The idea that consistency without the default of getting uncomfortable was putting a ceiling on the growth for many of you. So this is going to look different for all of us, and not easy is going to look different on different days. So some days, literally just doing a workout at all is not easy, and you had to overcome a lot to do that. Other days, you're like, I'm feeling pretty good today. I like this workout. I'm kind of excited. I got good sleep last night. That is the day that you're like, how can I make myself uncomfortable in this situation? Maybe it's, I'm going to try to push for an unbroken set on every set of wall balls. Maybe it's, you know what, normally I ride the C2 bike because it's my comfort zone. I'm going to go run. I'm going to run in this workout, and I'm going to do the run version even though I hate it and I suck at it and it makes me uncomfortable and I feel like I run weird. Making yourself uncomfortable. It's not always about a better score or a faster time or using more weight, but it might be. It might be doing a different version. It might be purchasing those 30-pound dumbbells because you've been clinging to the 25s for the past 4 years, knowing you could probably hit the goal time with a little bit more weight. It's about, I don't really need to break up this set of power cleans, but I want to because I had a strategy in my head. It's about throwing the strategy out the window and pushing yourself and just finding out what happens. Because again, that confidence, that information that you learn, that next level that you take your brain and your body to, bleeds out into the rest of your life. It challenges you to push yourself in other areas. So we're using these tools of fitness and workouts and nutrition to help you grow as a person, but growth never comes from comfort zones. It never comes from keeping it easy. It never comes from, this is what I do, this is how I do it, nothing ever changes. It means intentionally doing one workout per week that scares you a little bit. Looking at the workouts and being like, nope, not doing that, not doing burpees, not me. I always skip the burpee workout. Not in 2024. Not if you're going to follow along with us in Simple Not Easy. You're going to say, I'm going to find the one workout that I don't want to do, and that's for sure the one I'm going to make sure that I do this week. It's not about doing more. It's about giving more of yourself every day. It's not about doing more. It's about giving more of yourself every day in every opportunity, in your workouts, with your family, with your friends, at your job, in your relationship, and whatever else is important to you in your life. Because in 2024, the world is more and more and more designed to keep us lazy, overfed, and comfortable. Simple Not Easy asks the street parking members to go against the grain. Choose the harder version. Choose the more difficult path. Choose to give this life all that you are made of, leaving nothing in the tank. My very own 6-year-old son has a saying that he uses all the time when we're trying to push him a little bit. We do hard things to make them easy. And once the hard thing becomes comfortable, once the hard thing becomes easy, we find the next hard thing. We hope that you are as excited as we are in 2024 for a new year, a new opportunity to grow as humans, to grow this community along with us, to find out what we as street parking members are made of, to show the world who street parking members are and what we believe, because we're so proud of who we are and what we believe. And to keep it simple, let's simplify our lives so that our families, friends, and our own personal hobbies, interests, goals, and passions thrive because we as individuals are healthy, determined, and enjoying the ride. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's get out there and crush 2024.